Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. I have to say that this is the second time I've tried to film this because I had technical difficulties, but hopefully it works out just as well this time as it did the first time. Today I am reviewing for you Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. First of all, there was so much hype around this book heading into the new year for 2016. This was one of the most anticipated books of the year and it was being released in February. So the day it was released, I was all over this. The book cover is glorious. If you know anything about me, you would know what a big deal fonts are to me. Not so much book covers, but the choice of the font. And I do love a good book cover like most people do, but fonts just get me right in the soul. And if the world knew how important fonts are, the world would just be such a better place. There's nothing like looking at someone's advertising or their company or their book cover and going, well, things would have been so much easier if they just chose a better font. I have to say that with all of the hype and all of that said, I loved this book. It was an absolute pleasure to read. The main character in this book is Etta, short for Henrietta. And I don't know anyone called Henrietta, so that's cool. Henrietta is pretty much a bit of a violin protege. Her whole kind of life that we get to know a little bit before. We don't get to see a lot of her before the time travelling happens, but we do get to see that she's super into her violin and she has a really positive, amazing relationship with her violin teacher, Alice, and she's got this big performance coming up that she's kind of stressing out about, but it's kind of a big deal and it's really exciting. When she goes to do this violin performance, some stupid girl pushes her into another time. So, not only does she not get to do the violin performance, but she's trapped in a completely different time. On a pirate ship. It's not really a pirate ship, it's just a ship, but kind of piratey. It is thrust into 1776 and it's friggin' crazy. She's on a boat, she's with all these people she doesn't know, she's in a completely different world pretty much, in the middle of the ocean. It's just insane. I have to say, I really liked Etta as a main character. I found she was really entertaining, she was really opinionated and strong-willed and fierce, and I loved that because I myself connect with that as a main character. A lot of people kind of connect a lot more with main characters who are clumsy and awkward and shy and relatable, but for me relatable is somebody who stands up for what they believe in, who puts himself out there, who takes risks, and who is a bit fierce and crazy, because that's who I am. I really liked her as a main character. The last book I reviewed was Eleanor and Park, which I'll put down below if you want to watch it. You don't have to, you do you, my friend. I talked quite a bit about in that book review that I didn't really connect with Eleanor or Park, the main characters in that book, and it kind of annoyed me a little bit, but it didn't mean I didn't like the book. I still liked it, but I like it better when I can connect with the characters. But in this book, I didn't even have to think about that because I connected really well with Etta. I've never played violin in my life. Actually, that's a lie. I played violin for 1 year when I was 11, and that's a whole nother video story, but it's a hilarious story. It's just, I only played it for a year and there's a whole story that goes with that and the reason why, but that's whatever. I really liked the way the time travel worked in this book, and I think the most important thing with a lot of books is that they show you, they don't tell you. So a lot of times, sometimes with books, is that you can find, and this could be easily done with time travel, is that they have a main character who meets another kind of main character, and then the main character will just information dump and tell them everything they would need to know about time travel. But Passenger really allows the reader to discover it along with Etta as she's discovering it. So you're learning things as they happen, but also in a really organic and natural way that isn't just an information dump of this is exactly how it works and these are the things that don't work and this is why we do it in the end. Which is so unsatisfying as a reader, and it makes you feel a bit stupid, like the author didn't trust you with the world and that they didn't trust their writing enough to just build the world and let you just explore it with the character. So I really did appreciate that. I really like Nicholas, the other main character. I thought he was just wonderful. He was incredibly real and accurate and complicated in the right kind of way. Not just in a way that he was just moody and brooding and Edward Cullen, but rather that he was, he had a bit of history and a bit of a story, and he was living in a time where it was difficult because he is black and he had to kind of work through that in terms of making a name for himself and gaining respect despite all of that during that time. So it's really cool to see that kind of happen as a story. I loved the part on the boat where there was some casual racism happening on the boat and Etta kind of just throws her crap and just has a big rage, and the whole crew basically falls in love with her right then because she's so feisty and untamable, and it's just amazing. To talk about the ending as well, the ending was crazy.